So, Xbox players are actually able to test out a small piece of Devil May Cry 5. Let's talk about this. As always, guys, if you like this video and you want to see more, please do me a favor and click that red subscribe button. Also, if you want to know anytime Nathan or I upload videos, make sure you click that bell icon to make sure you're going to get notifications. Also, make sure you check out our sponsor, Boss Boxes, where you can get customizable boxes full of gamer goodies sent directly to your door. You can use coupon code AverageGamer to get a discount in checkout, and also sign up now and you can actually get your hands on last month's box before they're all sold out. Thanks. Alright, so Xbox players can actually download a demo for Devil May Cry 5 where you get to play as Nero for a little bit of the game. It's a very small demo, it's not very big, but it does give you a good idea of what the mechanics are going to feel like in the game, how it's going to play, what it kind of feels like, and I was really excited about this. Devil May Cry is one of my favorite game series of all time, if not my favorite. And Devil May Cry 4, as repetitive as it got, I was really happy with it, and I really enjoyed the character of Nero, and I actually wanted to see his story expanded a little bit more, which had me worried when they actually did the DMC Devil May Cry reboot. I was afraid pretty much they were going to scrap everything going forward, but it's nice to see we're finally getting a proper sequel to Devil May Cry 4 with Nero and Dante both in this again. So let's get started with this gameplay and my thoughts. Now, the first thing to notice is that obviously in this first little clip that you can play, or in the demo, Nero has already lost his demon arm and has the new arm from this mechanic or engineer that works with him. Now, you don't get too much of a story background from just the demo, and I think that's for good reason. They want to make sure to save a lot of the lore and story going into this for the full game. They just really wanted you to be able to actually get a taste of what the game plays like and what it feels like. And for the most part, I'm actually, really happy with it. It does feel a lot like the original Devil May Cry games, but there are some differences that I'm really hoping are polished up a little bit more, and I'll go over that now. Now, a lot of my problems with the demo here really aren't that big of a deal. They're just mostly mechanical things. And if I remember correctly, back when I played the demo to Devil May Cry 4, way back before it came out, there were issues that I had with that, and they were all pretty much polished away and gone by the time the game actually came out. So I don't actually think that any of my issues here with the demo are going to be translated over to the final release, and in fact might actually purposely be not in the game for a reason. So let's get started. Now, right off the bat, if you've played Devil May Cry 4, which most of you have if you're going to be playing Devil May Cry 5, Nero does not have his devil arm, his demon arm. He has lost his arm. I'm sure that's going to be explained. We got a little teaser of that in the trailer for the game back when it was first announced, but he does have a mechanical arm made by this engineer. Now, the biggest problem I have with the demo is something that, like I said earlier, I think will be fixed by the time the game actually comes out. And that was I could not find a way to change arms manually. Like, you have different style arms you can use in combat or situationally, and it seems to either change automatically depending on the situation, or you have to use up all of what you're already using, and then if you've used all those arms, it will automatically switch to whichever one you still have in inventory, unless you don't have any uses in inventory, and then you just lose your arm. So I could not find a way to manually switch. There are buttons that are not mapped that wouldn't let you map, and I'm thinking it's going to be one of those situations where this is definitely probably something that will be changed upon final release. I don't think this is something that's going to be stuck around through the final game, because there's a lot of things in the demo that it even tells you in the full version you will have to, you'll be able to have access to, but you won't have access to in the demo. So, but that was one thing that was kind of annoying, is that I would want to switch arms and I couldn't in the demo, but not really that big of a deal. Definitely feels like something that was done purposefully and will probably not be the case in the full game. Next thing on the list that kind of bothered me, which it's been an issue with all the Devil May Cry games, it's pretty much been an issue with a lot of any hack and slash games, especially in small rooms. It's been an issue in all the Devil May Cry games, but it's something that's easily remedied and you can fix yourself, is the camera controls. Now, automatically, it's got automatic camera controls on, so it will automatically adjust for your position. Like every other Devil May Cry game, if you've played them, you probably know the automatic camera controls will sometimes put you in a position where you cannot see what you're doing. It'll sway in front of you, and something will be in front of you, and when you're in a small room, you won't even be able to see actually what you're doing. Easy fix for this was just turn off automatic camera controls. But then you have to crank up the camera control sensitivity so you can turn it a lot faster. Otherwise, you're going to be turning very slow, because the default turning is very slow and very obnoxious. But simple fix, turn off automatic camera and then crank up the sensitivity on camera control. It made it super easy and super simple. But however, the automatic camera controls, the first time I played through with the automatic camera controls, worked really well against the boss. When there's a lot of room and the boss is massive, it worked really well. But again, it's still easier just to go with the automatic turned off and manually control your camera like you would any other third-person kind of game like this. Combat-wise, it felt a lot like the other Devil May Cry games. It really didn't feel too different. One thing I would say is it didn't feel nearly as fluid as I remember Devil May Cry 4 playing, especially with Nero. They got rid of some mechanics that I really miss. The ability to rev up your sword and crank it up, and the longer you can hold it down, the stronger it is. Now, the option to rev it up or use Exceed is there, but it doesn't have any levels, and I haven't really noticed that it does much of really anything besides maybe increase your damage output a little. Combos seem to be pretty much straightforward. The mechanics, just in general in the game, feel very much like Devil May Cry 4. I'm hoping that the clunkiness of it, though, the way it doesn't feel as fluid as it used to feel, will be polished up by the time the game comes out, because it does feel a little clunky and not nearly as fluid as some of the combos you could pull off in Devil May Cry 4. Well, next up's look and feel, and that's pretty much something you can tell just from watching gameplay or watching the premiere footage when they announced the game. The aesthetics of this game look and feel a lot like the DMC reboot more than they do Devil May Cry 4. I don't know if this was intentional or if this was just something, they really wanted to up the scale of the graphics from 4 and it just came out like this, but it definitely does look like they went down the same look and feel as the DMC reboot, which is okay with me. I liked the DMC reboot. I did not think it was a very good Devil May Cry game, but I did think it was a good game. It was enjoyable. I liked the cinematics and stuff. To me, it felt like they just tried to go way too hardcore with the reboot, and it kind of took away from the fantasy aspect of it. With this, you can definitely tell the fantasy side of it's all still there, but it does feel a lot more grittier and dark and demented, especially than Devil May Cry 4 did. Devil May Cry 4 felt very JRPG-esque. It didn't feel nearly as dark and gritty, even though it was, as the DMC reboot was, and this game feels a lot closer to the DMC reboot, just with the Devil May Cry 4 characters, than the Devil May Cry 4 did. So definitely feel like they might have just decided to merge both styles in this game to make this new one. So in a way, it's like DMC did happen, but this is a different story using that same kind of style. But who knows? All in all, I'm still really excited for this game to come out. This is a game that I'm pretty pumped for. One thing I am upset about is the whole being able to spend real money on red orbs to upgrade your characters. And even with this demo, if you played through this demo, you get 30,000 of those red orbs when you play the actual game, as long as this save files on your account. That's one thing. I'm not really a big fan of games being pay to win. I do not really like it when games allow you to pay money to upgrade your characters. Now, this isn't a PvP game. It is, it's a single-player experience, so it's not that big of a deal. I will not be buying any red orbs. I don't like that. I've already played through the Devil May Cry games and just grinded to upgrade my characters, so I will still be doing that with this, and I think that's the right way to go about it. But if you overlook that, I'm super pumped for this game. I love Devil May Cry as a series. We got a new anime coming out from the creator of the Castlevania anime on Netflix. I see big things for Devil May Cry's future because this game does look really cool, and I do want to learn more about Nero. I was hoping we would get more of a prequel game with Nero's character going back before Devil May Cry 4, because we only got a hint at how he got his powers and why he got them. I did kind of want to learn a little bit more about that. But it looks like in this game we are going to have Virgil reincarnated, Dante's back, Nero's back, so I'm pretty pumped. I'm excited to see where they're going to take this story, and I will be playing this game day one. This is one I will not miss out on. Comes out right after my birthday, so I'm probably just going to, talk my wife into let me pre-order it as a birthday present, but we'll see. But let me know your guys' thoughts. Are you excited for Devil May Cry 5? Have you played the demo yet? What did you guys think of the mechanics? Did it feel kind of clunky to you? Let me know in the comments down below. That's all the time I got for this one, though, guys, and I will see you all next time.